Hi, my name's James and welcome to this year's London East Trainee Challenge. So this year I wanted to do a project that was a little different, something that would combine sustainability, technology and innovation whilst offering something back to a local school.
So every year a trainee is selected from each region to take part in the Trainee Challenge. They have to come up with a project that delivers social value and involves our people, our supply chain partners and our design partners. This year James took on the project that reflects the three themes of brilliant buildings, building lives and better planet. These are from our Now or Never strategy, which sets us on a path to become, by 2030, a net zero carbon and waste business, setting the standard for social value in our communities and delivering net zero operational carbon projects that support biodiversity.
This year's challenge has involved the design and build of an off-grid renewable net zero carbon classroom in the form of our Now or Never pod, which has been donated to Pixbrook Academy as an additional classroom space. This pod has been manufactured in an off-site factory environment where we've utilised as much recycled material as possible.
So we got involved with GeoSlam for a small part at the beginning when we joined in the Carter accommodation your team to really scan the cabins. So there were several old cabins that we scanned with the ZBrevo RT, and we got the point cloud data pretty instantly as the scanner works real time, so we could take it to derive the measurements, elevations, floor plans and everything that the design team needed.
So as an architectural practice we're looking to develop a sustainability agenda alongside Now or Never 2030, and we have some philosophies about recycling, reusing materials and trying to make buildings more autonomous. So get the efficiency and remove the reliance on the grid. We've designed a passive house standard as close as we can. We've got high levels of insulation in, high performing windows, and then we've made it airtight.
So I was one of the structural engineers that worked on the Now or Never pod. So our main idea for the design was to retain as much of the existing pod from Carter's as we could. So there was a change in use, which ended up with a change in loading, and so what we needed to do was to strengthen the pod wherever possible. We also put together a design for the foundations. So the main idea was to kind of keep this to a minimum and a minimal design. So what we did was we introduced 4 new concrete pad foundations, third points across the pod. These pads were reclaimed from a nearby site.
It's very easily removable. It can put into place for a period of time and very easily removed. There's 2 lifting points on the pads. You can lift them out, put them onto the back of a lorry, bring them to our yard, leave them. They could be recycled, put in again, and you just pull the ground over to where they were. So there's no evidence you ever existed in there.
So I was the lead mechanical engineer on this project, and I completed calcs in IES, produced a thermal model, and off the back of that I selected an MVHR unit to combat overheating, as well as an electric panel heater for the winter months.
I liaised with my mechanical engineer and found the outputs from data sheets from the manufacturer sheet selected, and then basically worked out the kilowatt hours, what kind of output we required from the PVs.
So the Bidwells team informed the planning process. So we were looking at delivery, how we could help deliver the project on time, and that was involved liaising with the council, making sure that we could avoid planning application and do it under permitted development, working through the confines of that and informing the design team really then in terms of where to site the building, more importantly, and the restrictions on scale and height.
So we were able to contribute 2 things to the Now or Never project. The first was a 20-year-old timber textured cabin, and it had reached the end of its life as a hireable piece of equipment. We donated that, and on top of that we were able to provide our highly skilled team of modular refurbishment to actually physically fit the cabin out with the equipment that was donated by the Willmott Dixon supply chain.
When Willmott approached us about product to recommend for the pod, we suggested a product range of ours called Airmaster. Product's textile carpet tile made up of different types of strands of nylon that actually capture dust. So it's quite a big benefit from our point of view in terms of a healthy living environment and working environment for the people that are in that area. What it also has is a very environmental backing, which is called Ecobase, which the main ingredients to that product is chalk from the water filtration system in Holland. So we use that product. It's actually taken out when the water is filtrated, put it into the backers of our carpet tiles, and it's 100% recyclable.
So we provided a combination of the inspiration which is the linear light fitting in there, and that's been very much designed around education and delivering the best lit environment that we can for those spaces. Within the inspiration, we're using the best efficiency chips that we can, and enabling modularity and upgradability into the future as well to maintain the longevity of the performance of the product. We've also integrated lighting controls into those systems, so using our organic response to enable that granular energy savings as well within the daylight and occupancy detection in the space.
Pinnacle obviously contributed with the furniture. We're obviously going through a process of looking at sustainable materials for furniture. So the desks have worktops made from recycled plastic bottles. And then the chairs are of fabric which comes from ocean waste, so plastic in the ocean, debris, and any plastic that's destined for a landfill basically.
We put forward a waterproofing system which has got a design life of a life expectancy of the building. So when coupled with our industry partners in Polyfoam and eco-green roofs, the installation by Briggs & Masco, it will keep the building dry and secure for years to come.
To do this project, we've installed 8 sun power panels. These are all 400 watt panels, which has created a total of a 3.2 kilowatt system on top of the pod. This has allowed the pod to be fully functional off-grid and run by itself throughout the summer and spring and hopefully into the winter. And this is done by using the batteries, which is Victron batteries, a 5 kilowatt easy solar unit, which is controlling 3 5 kilowatt batteries. To mount this to the pod itself, we've used Nicholson IFPs, which is integrated fixing points, and these are specific to the green roof that the pod has as it's finished. And then on top of these IFPs, we have a Renusol mounting frame.
We've worked with Dean Roofing, who have installed a EnviroBuild composite cladding system, which is made from 95% recycled wood and plastic and has been manufactured from over 100% renewable energy. And TGL have provided a super soft insulation system, which is manufactured from over 95% recycled plastic. So Roof Glaze have provided the roof lights for the pod, as well as Rationale providing the windows and the doors. These have been designed to be as thermally efficient as possible. We've had over 137 hours of design input from our supply chain, as well as countless hours of fitting out the pod. This also includes over £34,000 of material donated from our supply chain. Over 71% of the total building mass of the pod is from recycled material, where we've also carried out embodied carbon calculations which demonstrate that we're meeting LETI and REBA targets by 2030 now.
I think firstly I'd like to say thank you to Willmott Dixon for the opportunity to be involved. It's been a great opportunity for us to showcase our products to you. But I think the most important thing for me, on the personal aspect, is to show the children, or the opportunity to show the children, sustainability and the importance of what we do going forward.
The project that Willmott Dixon is doing, and Now or Never initiative, is really good and exciting, especially for the students, because they will get to really have a chance to get involved with the sustainable buildings from the beginning.
So what I really liked about this was the early involvement for the kids, getting the children at Pixbrook Academy into the design at an early stage and kind of finding out what they wanted. I think it was a good way to kind of start the conversation early with them and kind of make them understand a little bit about how everything that we do has an impact on the environment.
I hope the impact is that they think differently, that we see the ideas that come out of being innovative, and we can see how those ideas can be actually brought into reality. There's a lot gets said about innovation and sustainability, and probably not a lot actually gets done. And it's fantastic to see a project that comes together that brings innovation and turns it into reality that we and our customers and the students in this school can see.
It's about our ability to use the pod in the way in which it was designed to create that interest and that enthusiasm, that excitement about the environment, because all of the elements of the pod allow that to happen in quite a tangible way. And I think the other part is it's a resource that we can use that's a little bit different from the rest of the building. It is deliberately located in a place that allows us to use it for young people who perhaps need a slightly different space. It also provides us with a really brilliant opportunity to do some real genuine environmental science and be based in a part of the school that is different from the normal science rooms.
By doing this, we can see what's available, what the limitations of it are in terms of technology, and there's a real opportunity to test live now what this thing performs like, and then from the small seed we can see how it grows and whether it's scalable.
If we can implement that idea and that design on a bigger scale, such as this academy, I think we could in the future have bigger buildings that are fully autonomous.
So moving forward, the plan is for the Now or Never pod to not be a one-off project, where we've collaborated with our supply chain and designers to develop a standardised process which can be rolled out for future schools, creating sustainable spaces for students, because it's now or never.
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 It's now or never.